I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Picture this. You've been eagerly anticipating a magical reimagining of one of the most beloved fairy tales of all time.
I know. You're Duck.
Why, yeah, that's true.
Only to be met with disappointment that feels like a bad dream in a once enchanted kingdom.
Okay. Matt, I had a dream that I was replaced by a diverse woman.
Today, we're breaking down the top 10 reasons why the new Snow White movie has become a cinematic misfire. Whether you're a die-hard fan of the classic tale or just curious about what went wrong, stick around, because we're diving deep into every twist and turn of this story's downfall.
I can't accept this.
I'm not giving it to you. I'm just giving you reason to return.
And here's a fun fact to start us off. Did you know that the original Snow White story dates back to the early 19th century, when the brothers Grimm first penned a version that was much darker and full of cautionary lessons? It's amazing how a tale can evolve over time. But sometimes too much change can spell disaster. So grab your popcorn and get ready as we count down the top 10 reasons why the new Snow White movie failed to capture the magic it promised.
Where is Snow White?
Snow who?
You're protecting her.
Answer, Her Majesty.
Reason 10. Overhyped marketing and unmet expectations.
Snow White is finally coming out this weekend. I believe this weekend's coming out. And if you're...
Let's kick things off with reason number 10. The overhyped marketing campaign that set sky-high expectations.
Disney remake of Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler and
When the film was announced, teasers and trailers painted a picture of a groundbreaking, visually stunning epic that would revolutionize the way we see fairy tales.
I was all in already. Also, there's something so iconic.
Studios even employed secret screenings and viral social media challenges to create a buzz. However, once the movie hit theaters, the final product simply couldn't live up to the promise. The gap between the dazzling promotional materials and the actual movie left audiences feeling duped.
Snow White is a woke flop.
That disconnect in expectations versus reality created the perfect storm for negative word of mouth, making it hard for the film to recover once critics started weighing in.
And Disney was not sending its best. I sat through the whole thing. I don't want to say it was the worst movie I've ever seen.
Reason 9. Deviating too far from the beloved source material.
What wouldst thou know, my queen?
Magic mirror on the wall.
At number 9, we have the deviation from the original Snow White tale. The classic story is one that many grew up with, a tale of innocence, hope, and redemption that carries a timeless moral. This new adaptation, however, took bold creative liberties that left traditional fans scratching their heads. By altering core elements of the narrative,
mirror, mirror on the wall, it's the bitchiest of them all.
And reworking characters in ways that didn't honor the original spirit, the film ended up alienating the very audience that expected a respectful homage to the classic.
Like, you have acute bronchitis, you're gonna be on meds for the next week. And somehow this was the worst part of my day.
Fun fact, the Brothers Grimm's version of Snow White was far more gruesome and layered than the sanitized Disney adaptation, so while modernizing the tale is no small feat, straying too far can rob the story of its cherished magic.
No longer 1937.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
Reason 8. Rushed and inconsistent narrative. Pacing. Moving on to reason.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Number 8. The film's narrative felt rushed and inconsistent. Imagine watching a roller coaster that starts with a breathtaking ascent, but suddenly loses momentum halfway through. This was the experience for many viewers. Key plot points were either underdeveloped or hurriedly resolved. leaving the storyline feeling fragmented. Instead of a well-orchestrated fairy tale journey, the movie presented a series of disjointed vignettes.
Yeah, I fucking hate this movie now. I'm actually so curious to see what's gonna happen.
That didn't quite mesh together. This inconsistency not only confused the audience, but also made it difficult for viewers to form a genuine emotional connection with the story.
Just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White.
Reason 7. Underdeveloped characters and unconvincing portrayals.
Sure you think you got this licked, Your Majesty, but trust me.
Iconic roles like Snow White and the Evil Queen were given a modern twist, but the reimaginings often felt forced. For instance, Snow White was transformed into a modern, assertive heroine, a refreshing concept on paper, but her portrayal lacked the depth and nuance needed to resonate with audiences. Meanwhile, the Evil Queen, traditionally a figure of unequivocal malice,
I was a little nervous because I'm doing something that is so iconic,
was reworked into a more complex character whose tragic backstory never quite landed. This imbalance in character development left viewers struggling to invest emotionally in the narrative, detracting from the overall impact of the film.
It's a human.
What did you think I was?
Nothing. Ghost.
Reason 6. Lackluster visual effects and CGI coming in at number 6 is the film's technical shortcomings, especially in visual effects and CGI.
I'm really nervous on how they're gonna look, how they designed them, and I'm
In today's blockbuster arena, audiences expect nothing short of cutting-edge visuals that transport them into a fantastical world. Unfortunately, the new Snow White movie's CGI often felt outdated and inconsistent.
Talking about the production, people talking, the way that the dwarves look, I thought was kind of weird.
Take the enchanted forest scenes, for example. What should have been a magical, immersive experience ended up looking like a collection of recycled effects.
From the mountains high to the deepest mines, we reap what we sow where the good things grow. It's such a beautiful Disney way of looking.
Fun fact, modern CGI is not just about dazzling imagery, it's about creating a seamless integration between the real and the fantastical. When these technical elements fall short, the immersion is broken and the movie loses much of its intended charm.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all?
Famed is thy beauty, Majesty.
Reason 5. Inconsistent directorial vision and tone. At number 5, we explore the inconsistent directorial vision and shifting tonal approach. A strong, coherent vision is essential in guiding a film's narrative and setting its pace. In this adaptation, however, the director seemed to waver between capturing a whimsical, light-hearted fairy tale and a dark, gritty reimagining. This tonal tug-of-war left the audience unsure of how to engage with the film. Was it meant to be a celebration of classic magic or a serious, introspective drama? The mixed signals resulted in a disjointed viewing experience that ultimately confused viewers and diluted the film's overall impact.
I think it's time for Snow White tonight to have a little talk.
Reason 4. Mismatched soundtrack and missed musical opportunities.
Hand meets a hand, like it found where to land.
Reason number 4 is all about the music, or rather, the missed opportunities in the film's soundtrack. A memorable score can elevate a movie, transforming simple scenes into moments of pure emotion. Sadly, the musical accompaniment in this film felt mismatched and underwhelming. There were instances when the music attempted to build suspense or highlight emotional peaks.
And I felt it worked for her villain song, because those Disney villain songs, they are hammed up, but they're still villainous.
Only to fall flat in the context of the scene. In fairy tales, music is often the magic that bridges the mundane and the marvelous. Here, the lackluster soundtrack further contributed to an overall sense of mediocrity, leaving viewers longing for the enchanting melodies they'd come to expect from a classic tale reimagined.
One good, but in the shadow the kingdom's caught in. Somehow fairness is long forgotten.
Reason 3. Casting and representation controversies.
This truly is the worst casting, maybe in the history of the film industry.
At number 3, we have the casting and representation controversies that sparked heated debates both online and in the media. In recent years, casting decisions in Hollywood have become a focal point of discussion, and any perceived misstep can ignite fierce criticism. In this movie, some of the casting choices were seen as either too radical or misaligned with the cultural context.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion.
Of the original story, the controversy didn't just distract from the film, it actively fueled negative buzz. It's worth noting that casting controversies are nothing new in the industry, but in a film already struggling to find its identity, these debates only deepened the divide among audiences, further tarnishing its reputation.
White was named Snow White because her skin was white as snow.
Reason 2. Oversaturation of remakes and lack of innovation.
Pies are luxuries. They don't need luxuries. It confuses them.
Reason number 2 addresses a broader industry issue, the oversaturation of remakes and a noticeable lack of innovation. Today, audiences are bombarded with reimagined classics and recycled stories, leading to a sense of fatigue. The new Snow White movie, with its attempt at modernization, ended up feeling like just another entry in an overcrowded market of adaptations.
I just wanted to remember how I felt when I watched it when I was a kid.
While there's always room for fresh takes on timeless tales, this film didn't manage to set itself apart. Instead, it reinforced the notion that studios are relying too heavily on nostalgia without delivering the innovative storytelling or cinematic magic that audiences crave. This lack of originality, combined with other shortcomings, made it difficult for the film to shine in a competitive landscape.
Every way that Disney changed the story, it changed it for the worse. Now, people were...
Reason 1. Rapid social media backlash and negative word of mouth.
Wow, Disney, you are truly incredible. It took you 3 years, multiple rewrites, unnecessary CGI, and $209 million just for me to enjoy a comment section of a movie I will never watch. Bless you!
And finally, reason number 1, the rapid spread of negative word of mouth on social media. In today's digital age, opinions travel at lightning speed, and a few critical voices can snowball into a full-blown PR crisis. As soon as the movie was released,
which gave it a 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 1.6 rating out of 10 on IMDb,
early reviews and reactions flooded social media platforms, painting a picture of a film that failed to meet expectations on multiple fronts. This negative buzz created a self-reinforcing cycle. The more people talked about the film's flaws, the more potential viewers became wary of investing their time and money. The result was a movie that couldn't recover from its early setbacks, as the online backlash proved to be a decisive factor in its overall failure.
And between then and now, it seems like it has been mired in just about every online controversy you could possibly think of.
So there you have it, the top 10 reasons why the new Snow White movie failed to capture the magic it promised. From overhyped marketing and deviations from beloved source material to technical misfires, inconsistent direction, and a rapid-fire social media backlash, this film suffered from a perfect storm of missteps. But what can we take away from this cinematic misadventure? First, it's a reminder that honoring the core of a classic story is just as important as introducing fresh, innovative elements. Filmmakers must strike a delicate balance between tradition and modernity, a balance that, in this case, was unfortunately lost. Second, technical excellence is non-negotiable in today's high-stakes movie industry. From CGI to sound design, every detail matters when audiences expect nothing short of a magical experience. And finally, marketing must be honest and aligned with the final product. Over-promising and under-delivering can be a recipe for disaster, as negative word of mouth quickly takes hold in the digital age. While the new Snow White movie might be a cautionary tale for Hollywood, it also opens up important conversations about the challenges of remaking classics in a way that resonates with both longtime fans and modern audiences. I want to hear from you. What do you think was the biggest misstep in the new Snow White movie? Could a different approach have saved it from being a failure, or were the flaws too inherent to the project? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing your opinions. If you enjoyed this countdown and want to see more in-depth breakdowns of film flops and successes, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the top 10 reasons behind one of Hollywood's most talked about misfires. Until next time, keep questioning the magic of movies and stay curious.